Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent. Thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
In the growing light of the early morning, the Aasimar that managed to separate themselves from the city mull about aimlessly. The order that they were given, defend the tower, provided no express instruction. It was more a registration of intent. That if they didn't, perhaps place themselves between the growing army and the tower itself, their lives would be in danger, or worse, forfeit. The oath, as it stands, would burn them up alive from the inside, their Aasimar soul acting as kindling that would set their bodies alight. With that fear, the Aasimar gather under the shadow of that tower. Accompanying that comes the dolorous ring of that bell, as wings that flap without sound begin to darken the landscape. 3 such figures land near the mulling crowd. The angels stare over at the Aasimar. They've been fighting these things for so long on the front lines, it's eerie to see them up close. They watch, wait, register the presence of their new companions, and then, with a shocking show of intelligence, one that they hadn't seen up to this point, the angels take to the skies again, begin to fly off. The crowd regathers, as if to discuss the events, nervously looking over, wondering what the day will bring. But, at least for the moment, it only brings a single traveler. He walks down the path, almost with a disinterested step. Presses his way into the crowd. Someone looks over, as if registering him. It appears, at least surface level, that this man isn't an Aasimar, so someone steps forward and, kind of waves and is like, hey!
Oh, yes, good day.
Yeah, good day. He, shifts uneasily in his boots, seeing the man just simply walk a ring around their number.
Yeah, he is looking in almost any other direction than at these people. No.
The nervous crowd almost seems to gather themselves.
Oh.
Hey,
Well, this is awfully embarrassing.
Yeah?
Would any of you happen to know the nearest way to the main city gate?
A look is cast amongst them. Would it be a violation of the order to let him just... No, definitely not. So, this intrepid Aasimar out front slowly, and with the shaking helmet, picks up one hand and points off in this direction. If you head down there, it's hard to see from here. You just need to make it past the line of trees. There's a little, gully leads down. You'll find the city gates that way.
Marvelous, marvelous. And, he peers up at the sky a bit and kind of judges in his head. You wouldn't happen to have the time, would you?
They gather. This one moves forward and is like, I think it's about 8:15.
15. Oh, God. He gets a leg on. Wait, no, hang on.
Yeah?
Forgive me, but you all appear to have the look and, dare I say, the scent of an Aasimar about you, is that correct?
They mutually exchange a look and nod.
And what would you be doing standing about here, idle?
Well, it This one steps forward, taking the risk. We've been given the express orders to defend this tower from the encroaching army. Are you, if you're asking, then I'm gonna assume that you're not part of us, then.
An ace? No, I'm not. That being said, it's really of no concern of mine. It just seemed to me that I saw a band of folk lacking any purpose to busy their hands. Wanted to make sure that you weren't merely loafing about.
They look at each other. Is he offering to help, or was he simply concerned that they seemed lost? They look back, we don't exactly know what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Oh, well, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I suppose guarding does involve an awful lot of standing around in place, an art you seem to have mastered, so I will leave you to it. Right. 8:15, got to get a leg on. Well, best of luck to you all.
This crowd of people exchange one more look, and, there's this almost silent registration of, was he encouraging us? With a hanging question. He exits, traveling towards the city gates, and promptly on time, due to now a shortcut, you manage to arrive exactly on schedule at the city outskirts. The sun is coming up. This seems like a perfect time to take a look at what's happening with this place.
He squints in the light, looking up at the tower, and permits himself a small grimace.
Of course, there is one complicating factor. Even with the brilliant sunshine and the relative calmness, there is the persistent quality of Tannhauser. Some would call it a weather effect. Kerchunk, kerchunk, kerchunk. Angel after angel touches down on the roof.
Looks up. Rain again.
They start to close in on your location. It's rather frustrating dealing with these things. They seem to lack some sort of intelligence or direction. No capacity for civility. One leaps off the gate and touches down in an absolute rain of dirt and stone.
Takes a step back, less out of oh god, a monster, and more out of, oh god, a cloud of dust, getting dangerously close to my very finely made clothing. Right. Well, if it's no concern of yours, I was just headed into town. He gives a small half smile and proceeds forward.
This one clings to the roof, pressing its body down, watching you, an almost guttural snarl emanating from its mouth. The one immediately to your left lifts up its spear and darts forwards.
Now, he raises up a hand, as in a hang on motion. Does it respond in any civilized way, or
it
barrels
does
forward?
Not. It barrels forwards.
Oh. Yeah, I think the spear strikes dead home towards. Where do you think we're spearing?
I think this thing's aiming for your, I think it's aiming for your, collarbone area. I think it's trying to obliterate you, yeah.
Classic, yes.
Nice.
Separate the head from the body. Very,
yes.
Very smart. Yeah, he, that same, hang on hand stays out, and he's like, ugh. And he moves it slightly to be directly in the path of the spear, and as the spear bears down, aiming to just completely blow away that hand and then most of the body behind it. As soon as there is contact, all the motion and the momentum and everything just ceases. There's a very small amount of wind as the air displaced by the creature rolls over him, but otherwise the creature is stopped as if suspended in time. All right. He rolls his eyes and kind of shakes his head lightly, like, oh, the kids these days, come on.
There is a look of recognition that crosses over the eyes of these beasts. While they have no true expressions, there seems to be some sort of registration in this moment. That was bad. At the very least, they understand that this, whatever is in front of them, represents a danger. There are two ways to engage with that in their minds. One chooses one, the other the other. The one pressed to the roof coils its body downwards.
Right now, hang on. I recognize a good coil when I see one. Now, if you would permit me one moment, I merely want to pass through, and so all I will ask of you, the only teensy rule I must ask you to follow is, you see, draw a little invisible line for me from the edge of that building on down south, and that one over there as well. Right, this is my walking alley. And I don't wish it to be obstructed any more than that garbage already is. So, provided you stay on your sides of those lines, there's no problem at all. What do you say?
Fully coiled, almost like a spring, this one decides to use its momentum to push itself backwards across the tiling. It watches you, almost with the glimmering eyes of a predator. It's thinking about how it can best leap on you. It seems to not fully comprehend your establishment of your walking corridor. However, it's funny. The one on the other side, though not directly addressed, pulls itself a step backwards. Maybe something used in the kindling of its form. Maybe whatever creature was sacrificed to create this being recognizes the fact that should it cross that line, it will surely not survive. It pauses a moment, watches. It doesn't flee, but it freezes in sick curiosity as the one currently pressed to the rooftop takes the leap.
All right. Soon as it touches down in my walking alley,
I'm walking here.
he turns back to face this creature. What did I just say? You had one rule, just one simple rule, and you couldn't even follow that. I don't know. I'm afraid you know what happens to rule breakers. Accept your punishment. And the creature freezes again as if caught in stasis, and then both this and the previous one, there are cracks across the exterior of their form, and it all begins to darken, and then in the span of about 2 seconds, like a dying star collapsing into a black hole, both of these creatures implode directly inwards and vanish from existence. Oh, right, I forgot that one was already in the walking alley. Unfortunate.
Unlike the disruption before, this leaves behind no great explosion of dust and stone. Instead, this is a completely orderly disposal. Nothing exists. Nothing remains. Your path remains unhampered. The angel on the far side lacks the core intelligence to make a call or a deduction in this case. All it has is that simple primal instinct, the one that made it pause, the one that made it curious, and now, acting upon it one last time, it alights back to the sky, crossing the far side of the city, taking the long way around, making sure not to impose itself on any walking alleys.
Kind of adjusts his jacket, runs a hand through his hair. Right. Probably 8:30 by now, goodness. And he hustles along.
you walk into the great capital in the shadow of that tower, prepared for the next part of your little examination. But, well, as far as events go, this is simply a footnote, a point of interest that you might have been stopped by a few angels on the way in. Ultimately, this is not the event of the morning that would be written down in the history books. No. That, instead, is occurring on the far side of Tannhauser now.